Hey there, Internet. It's your favorite little 2D seedling here, ready to photosynthesize some knowledge with you today. Grab your favorite beverage, water, tea, or whatever helps you grow. Get comfy, and let's get rooted. Today, we are digging deep into the weird, wonderful, and wild world of plant facts. That's right, we're talking about my extended family, and let me tell you, some of them are completely unbelievable. My leafy cousins out there are exploding, counting, shape-shifting, and communicating in ways that will completely blow your mind. Welwitschia mirabilis grows only 2 permanent leaves over its entire 2,000-year lifespan, absorbing fog directly through its stomata, while surviving via massive whole genome duplications. Rafflesia arnoldi, the world's largest single flower, up to 3 feet and 15 pounds, is a complete parasite with no roots, stems, or leaves, smelling entirely of rotting meat to attract carrion flies. Amorphophallus titanum, Titan arum, produces a massive 10-foot-tall unbranched bloom that physically heats itself to 35.9 degrees Celsius on 2 separate nights to broadcast a horrendous stench. Cornus canadensis, bunchberry dogwood, detonates its flowers in under 0.4 milliseconds, catapulting pollen into the air at 24,000 meters per second squared, 800 times the acceleration astronauts experience during liftoff. Hura crepitans, sandbox tree, scatters its seeds via violent explosions that sound like gunshots, blasting projectiles at 150 miles per hour, up to 14 meters away. Bucela trifoliolata, a shape-shifting vine that visually mimics the leaves of its host trees without touching them, and can even alter its foliage to copy artificial plastic plants. Mimosa pudica not only folds its leaves when touched, but possesses long-term memory, learning to ignore harmless drops and remembering a lesson for up to a month without a brain. Dionaea muscipula, Venus flytrap, utilizes complex plant arithmetic via mechanosensory genes, DNMSL10, counting exactly 2 touches to snap shut, and 5 touches to deploy stomach-like digestive enzymes. Aldrovanda vesiculosa, water wheel plant, an underwater carnivorous plant that operates 10 times faster than a Venus flytrap by kinematically amplifying the bending of its midrib to trap prey. Selaginella lepidophylla, a desert resurrection plant that survives extreme dehydration by curling into a tight, seemingly dead ball for years, only to rapidly uncurl and resume metabolism upon sensing moisture. Haberlia rhodopensis survives total desiccation by meticulously restructuring the internal water molecules in its leaves into highly specific dimers and tetramers to physically preserve its tissues. Dendrocnide morites, gimpy, the world's most painful shrub, covered in microscopic silica needles that inject a spider-like neurotoxin, causing excruciating agony that can last for years. Myrmecodia tuberosa evolved gigantic, swollen tubers filled with naturally grown caverns specifically to house ant colonies, complete with smooth-walled nurseries and rough-walled garbage rooms. Pinus longeva, Great Basin bristlecone pine, can live over 4,900 years by isolating its vascular system, ensuring one root only feeds the specific branch directly above it, so parts can die while the organism survives. Pando, quaking aspen, a single 80,000-year-old male organism connected by a massive underground root system that mimics an entire forest, weighing 6,600 tons to claim the title of Earth's heaviest organism. Ophrys epifera, bee orchid, engages in extreme sexual deception by perfectly mimicking the shape, color, and pheromones of a female bee to trick males into mating with the petals. Dracula orchids. Epiphytes lacking pseudobulbs that grow elaborate floral structures resembling a monkey's face, imitating the smell of fungi to trick fungus gnats into acting as pollinators. Drosera adele constantly arms its sticky digestive liquid with a highly active, specialized RNase enzyme to break down prey, unlike other carnivorous plants that only activate digestion upon feeding. Nepenthes casiana, pitcher plant, secretes a lethal acidic fluid to break down the DNA of drowning insects for phosphate, a fluid so potent it completely halts the growth of competing plants if spilled in the soil. The Chellia drepanalobium, whistling thorn, grows bulbous, hollow thorns specifically to house aggressive ants, effectively hiring them as a mercenary army to attack any animal attempting to eat the tree. Omphalodus nidiformis, bioluminescent fungus, radiates a bright glow in the dark, an eerie phenomenon that surprisingly does not serve the expected evolutionary purpose of attracting spore-dispersing insects. Tripogon loliiformis, a resurrection grass that endures severe drought by purposely suppressing its own cellular suicide pathways and flooding its roots with trehalose sugars. Bamboo holds the world record for the fastest growing plant, capable of shooting upward at a rate of 0.00003 kilometers per hour. Tephrocarpus articulatus, the poised defensive spines but are actually genetically modified leaves, where the plant has shut off leaf development genes and supercharged wood fiber genes. Utricularia, bladderworts, features an underwater trapdoor that acts as a flexible valve, buckling under pressure to instantly suck in microscopic prey through rapid deflation. Warigula, a part-time carnivorous plant that traps flies with extreme sticky hairs, but relies entirely on a commensal assassin bug to eat the prey, surviving by absorbing the bug's droppings. Impatiens, touch me not, spreads its offspring via hypersensitive seed capsules that violently explode at the slightest touch, launching seeds across a massive radius. Morus alba, white mulberry, operates one of the plant kingdom's most rapid biological catapults, snapping its floral parts to launch pollen at blinding speeds. Cephalotus follicularis, Australian pitcher plant. Convergently evolved digestive glands that mimic animal stomachs, uniquely keeping its digestive genes unmethylated only within its trap organs. Arabidopsis, veilgrass, highly sensitive to the digestive fluids of pitcher plants, suffering extreme growth inhibition when exposed to the heat-stable compounds meant for breaking down insects. Myrothamnus flabellifolius survives complete drying by flooding its leaves with 3,4,5-triol-galoylquinic acid, a polyphenol that shields cell membranes from free radical oxidation. Pitcairnia burchellii, a highly adapted bromeliad that relies on complex structural cell wall changes and biochemical adjustments to endure the extremes of total vegetative desiccation. Bellia hygrometrica prepares for drought using an incredibly advanced primed transcriptome, allowing it to instantly activate desiccation tolerance mechanisms the moment water levels drop. Biblis, rainbow plant, catches prey with glandular emergences but cannot digest the meals alone, relying on a complex commensal relationship with external organisms to process the nutrients. Tarlingtonia californica, cobra lily, hunts using a passive water pool pit trap, depending completely on a localized soup of bacteria in the fluid to break down drowned insects. Genlisea, corkscrew plant, hunts completely underground using specialized subterranean stomach traps built from modified leaves to capture microscopic swale protozoa. Genopodium murale, wages unseen chemical warfare by leaching allelopathic phenolic compounds into the soil to deliberately stunt the growth and nodulation of competing plants. Phaseolus lunatus, lima bean. When chewed by herbivores, it uses an enzyme triggered by jasmonic acid to broadcast airborne chemical screens, summoning predators to hunt the attackers. Sea maize, corn, detects the specific saliva of attacking corn earworms and releases targeted volatile organic compounds into the wind to recruit tiny parasitic wasps for defense. Solanum lycopersicum, tomato, a chemical multitasker that drastically alters its airborne distress signals when forced to deal with a water deficit and an aphid attack simultaneously. Douglas fir, hardwired into an underground fungal network, this tree pumps chemical warning signals through the soil to alert neighboring forests when it is injured by insects. Ponderosa pine, capable of eavesdropping on the underground fungal network, it preemptively synthesizes defensive enzymes after receiving distress signals from an attacked Douglas fir nearby. Bacillus phallus mortis, a beneficial bacteria that emits highly specific organic gases to physically prime nearby plants, accelerating their growth and fortifying their immune systems. Gossypium, recruits parasitic wasps for defense by releasing hexanol gas when bitten, though this sophisticated alarm system can be jammed if the plant absorbs too much nitrogen. Nicotiana showcases advanced ecological warfare by emitting highly specific airborne chemicals that function as a homing beacon for wasps targeting tobacco budworms. Sarracenia secretes enzymes via endocytosis and membrane transport proteins in a process remarkably identical to the digestion mechanics of a human stomach. Craterostigma wormsy folds its cell walls and packs itself with immense amounts of sucrose to replace evaporating water, stabilizing its internal enzymes for years without a single drop of moisture. Spirabolus stopthionus, a unique desiccation-tolerant grass that dynamically rewires its internal leaf hexokinase activity and metabolites to endure total extreme drying. Enothera, evening primrose, possesses an acoustic sense, hearing the specific vibration frequency of a bee's wings and rapidly sweetening the sugar concentration of its nectar within minutes. Mustard and potato plants execute a ruthless hypersensitive defense strategy by deliberately committing localized cellular suicide, killing the leaf tissue directly underneath butterfly eggs so they fall off and perish. Well, my little sprouts, the greenhouse is getting dim, and it's time for us to tuck our roots deep into the warm soil for the night. I hope all these strange, magical little green friends brought a spark of wonder to your day. Remember, no matter how small your pot is, there's always room to grow something extraordinary. Stay cozy, keep your leaves reaching for the light, and I'll be right here waiting for you next time we wander through the garden. Sweet dreams and happy growing.